Okay, you've probably heard of the meme before. Winning a battle before it is even fought. And it sounds ridiculous, but it works. It works, all right? Everyone always likes to think about, oh yeah, like you have to just prepare as much as you can for a fight and then hopefully you win. But no one thinks about everything else that comes before, right? Like you literally had to think about how the fight's already gonna go. Okay, so Sun Tzu, he was like, if you don't know who he is, like he was like a very legendary war tactician. He basically taught people who weren't even in the war, but like they would teach them how to be able to think like him because he was basically able to win all of his battles. And these were like a war, okay, like war battles, okay? So obviously very important. Now, he described that basically, yes, before the fight is even fought, the outcome is already chosen. Okay, so like it's almost predetermined. What I derive from this is basically you have to know exactly how you're going to win a fight. Okay, if you don't know who I am, my name's Tim. I make videos helping fighters win their first fight. And you want to be able to go onto this kind of track, if this is kind of your dream to be able to win your first fight, then you should watch more videos like this, because I basically help you get the upper edge upon your opponents, because you probably do cardio, you probably do your training, but you're looking for that extra thing, so you watch these kind of videos. Anyways, so my suggestion to you, okay, is just envision exactly the outcome that you want and then build backwards from there. Everyone starts from their training and then says like, oh yeah, if I keep training, then I'll be able to win. But why not think the other way around? Okay, just try this, because a lot of people, a lot of fighters will go this way, right? They'll start from the bottom and then go up, and you're probably already doing this right now. But if you want like a very spectacular win, for example, like let's say best case scenario for everyone during a fight, or for their fights, is that they can knock the other guy out. Like that's the best case scenario. Or like, a round one, like a Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo sort of fight, where it's like the fight, like the other guy literally loses 10 seconds in. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Or like you want something a little more epic, where like you're breaking them down a bit, like I guess Tyson versus Hurricane McNeely, that sort of deal, where over time he broke him down. He kept on getting up, like Neely. He kept on getting up, but it was very clearly, like he was in another level, like Tyson was, okay? You want to think about the outcome that you want and then build from there. Okay, so let's say, for example, you want to knock the guy out with your punches. What kind of punch is it going to be? Is it like going to be a left hook or like a right hook specifically? There are specific things that you want. Like there was one time I was at a Muay Thai match, and there was the most crazy knockout I've ever seen in my life, right? The guy did not get up for a solid 15 minutes. I thought he died, okay? And it was very scary, and it made me contemplate whether like I wanted to do the sport or not. Luckily, he was fine. He was fine. He got up. But after 15 minutes, you must think like, that's terrifying, okay? But I know the fighter that basically knocked him out, it was like the most beautiful right hook, okay? And I know that he most likely, he envisioned exactly how that was gonna go. Like he was gonna catch him moving to the right, and he was also gonna throw a right hook so it land like twice as hard. And then he just didn't get up for 15 minutes. That's not heard of. Not really. That doesn't really happen unless you can envision these kind of things. So then you can prep your mind, you can prep your body, so when you see that moment, you can take it. But all the build-up has to come with it as well. Okay, it's a bit like having a blueprint, okay? Instead of getting all the bricks and then saying, okay, I want to put the bricks over here and then working one at a time from there, it's like having the blueprint already. Like, you know what the house is going to look like, then you start building it from there. I don't know if that makes sense, all right? But it makes sense. It should make sense. It should make sense to you, okay? Basically, envision the exact thing that you want. It could be a head kick. It could be specifically a liver shot, and then look for the way that you want to take it. Let's say like you want to do it with the left, like going in like that, okay, with the left hand. Then you have to think, okay, how can I make him scared? How can I make him think the left hand isn't going to be a jab, but it's going to be like you go for the liver instead. You could be picking, and then you just actually go for the liver instead. And then a right cross, just so he's not thinking too much, thinking like, oh, that liver shot didn't hurt, and then he folds. It's the same idea. You need to basically work backwards. Everyone works building upwards, going from basic combos, and they're getting more complex, okay? But if you could have like one good move and then build down from there, it makes you a much more like well-rounded fighter. Especially if it's like your first fight. If there's something specific you want to do and you can do it really well, it'll make you a very strong fighter. Obviously, nail your fundamentals. Don't be sloppy. Don't just have like one good move and that's it, okay? Like for me personally, I knew that boxing is like the fundamentals for Muay Thai. And most people would say, oh, it's actually like you're kicking or you're clinching. But honestly, Muay Thai, it translates, you know, from English, so it's Thai term, but it translates to English to like Thai boxing. Like boxing is literally in the name, okay? It's the hands first, then the kicks, then you're clinching, okay? In fact, there was even a rule made, I think in the 1950s or something, where kicking was given more points, was more valued over punching. And that's because people were using punches a lot more, and like basically the rules, people wanted to see kicks more. People wanted to see kickers win more, so they incentivized kickers more as a result. But at the very base level, punching is very important. That's why I really enjoy boxing, and I also didn't want to injure my legs. If someone checked my kick, I'd just be crying, I think. But basically, the moral is, have a certain idea, okay, have a certain plan in mind. And also, like, this is another point, it's so important. Actually stick to your plan. Most people, even like in their exhibition fights, when there's not actually many stakes, like when you're not gonna get knocked out. All right, the worst that's gonna happen is like you trip over a few times, okay, fine, but you're never gonna actually get knocked out. You might get outclassed, you still learn something, okay? But you never get knocked out. Okay? You want to have a plan. You want to have a plan before the fight, and you're thinking about it, how you're gonna execute it. And then, you know, literally 30 seconds in, you're trying to allow that to happen. Yeah, sure, for the first 30 seconds, like, you know, prod around, all right? Gauge tempo, see like what his moves are like, see how well he reacts to all your feints, all your attacks. But then after those 30 seconds, then you can start building up a little bit more pressure, where you're actually trying to build up like that right kick, or it's that right cross, or it's like specifically the right hook, okay? You want to work all these things in, okay? And you actually want to stick to the plan. Most people basically have, like, once they get punched, like they're fine, they have a plan in mind when they're steady. But then when they get punched like once or twice, that plan goes out the window and they start going back to their natural instincts. And against an elite fighter, like if you fought any of your like the more professional fighters in your gym, like they might have had 2 or 3 fights already, maybe even 10, you can tell like they're super calm. Even if they take a few shots, they can still like outclass you, and like they can outthink you, just because they can have a plan and not throw it out the window the moment that they get hit or the moment that they're injured. They can still fight. Okay? Just have a plan in mind. Have a plan and actually build off of it. Okay? And then you'll become a much better fighter as a result. Okay? Obviously do your fundamentals, but think about the plan. Think about that one knockout shot you want. Okay? That's all from me. Hopefully this is helpful. If you want my like one-to-one advice, I'll help you for free. Just check the link to this video. Okay, bye bye.